Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today we'll be making this super flavorful, juicy, runny looking shakshuka. Shakshuka is made all over the world, but today I will be showing you our Yemeni style of making it. So first I'm going to start off with some olive oil and diced onions. You can also use red onions. I often use a mix of white and red onions. I feel like it makes a good combo. And then some finely diced green peppers. You see that I have some red peppers thrown in there. I often keep diced red peppers in my fridge, and so I was just using some of that, which is completely fine. If you did want to swap out green peppers for red peppers, just know that the flavor will be different. I highly recommend that the majority are green peppers. So continue to saute this, and you can hear that beautiful sound sizzling. I also wanted to add some jalapenos. You can add bisbas, which are spicy peppers, any type of spice that you'd like, and some freshly minced garlic. It's important to add the garlic at this point of the cooking process so that it really caramelizes along with the onions. So make sure everything is well coated with the olive oil, and as you can see, this is the color we're trying to go for, that beautiful browned caramelization. And I am mixing this quite often just to make sure that everything is browning nice and evenly. So at this point, I'm going to add fresh tomatoes. I don't recommend using canned tomatoes for this, so definitely use fresh tomatoes. Any type of tomatoes work. And make sure that you incorporate everything very well until it starts cooking down like this. You won't know that your kushn is completely ready until all the tomatoes wilt down. Kushn is a Yemeni word for this type of base that involves onions and tomatoes, oftentimes pepper and garlic too. So when you hear somebody says yikeshin, which is the verb of kushn, it means you're creating this base. So now I'm adding some spices. That's just some cumin, dried coriander, and then I'm gonna add some salt and pepper, which are key to any dish. So at this point, your kushn is pretty much complete. I would continue cooking it down just until the tomatoes are completely withered. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to combine all of those beautiful seasonings and allow the kushn to continue cooking. Notice how I'm trying to rub the sides and the bottom of the pan. That's just to prevent any of the vegetables from sticking. And now I'm kind of giving it a chop motion to make sure that any of those larger bits of tomato are crushing down. And you can do the same thing with a wooden spoon. So something that I always like to do is I make a larger batch of kushn, and this way I can reserve some of the extra for another day, because this kushn base is what a lot of Yemeni cooking starts with. So it's always nice for me to have it reserved in the fridge. Maybe the next morning I want to make scrambled eggs, I'll use that same kushn that I reserved. So now I'm flattening our kushn, and this will help me create even nice pockets for the eggs. So depending on how many eggs you want to make an equivalent number of pockets. Now I've done this many times, so I'm comfortable cracking eggs directly into the pot. However, if you are not as experienced, I recommend that you crack each one into a small ramekin and then transfer it into the pot, because it's pretty frustrating when they crack. So I'm just wiggling them around and creating some gaps so that the whites can cook throughout. And this is completely optional. I wouldn't call this traditional, but I'm adding a little bit of feta cheese. You can totally leave this out, and then some black pepper on the top. A little bit of salt never hurts. All right. So I'm just gonna cover this up and reduce the heat on low. And so now I want to show you after it's been sitting for about a few minutes, it's still very watery. But because the pot is very hot, I'm gonna turn off the heat and just let it sit. And after about 5 minutes of sitting there, it's perfectly cooked. The yellow parts are runny, and now I'm gonna add my toppings. So this is Yemeni milhi, which is a dry chili spice, and I have some fresh cilantro. The other option is to add some basil, but I'm gonna go traditional today. I'm gonna sprinkle on some of my milhi, which is, like I said, the dry Yemeni chili powder, and some cilantro. So this is the most traditional way you can go. If you like the complement of basil with the feta, you can totally swap those out. So that's another great recommendation. And that's it. It's just that simple. Enjoy.